Well, folks, what's up? I'm back. Another video today. I finally finished watching Big Brother 27. Sorry it was a little bit late. We were a little bit behind on watching the final few episodes. I was hoping to get this out yesterday. Didn't get that quite happening, but it's out now. So here you go. I've done a few of these now, a few of these season reviews, and I'm a pretty educated viewer of the show as a whole. And having finished season 27, I can comfortably say that this is without a doubt one of the worst seasons in the history of this show. If I had to give it a blanket ranking right now, I would probably put this season, gameplay wise, not necessarily. If you, okay, mixing the cast as people alongside gameplay, it's a little closer to middle of the pack. There's definitely been some worst casts on a human ethics level. Season 15 was definitely worse. Season 9 was worse. Even hell, season 21 was worse. And on a gameplay wise, there's also been worse. Season 2 was worse. Or it's not season 2. Season 22 was worse. Season 2 was great. That one's definitely better than this season. Season 22, not so much. Season 19, honestly, is still, I think, better, but not by much. And honestly, other than season 22, I don't really know who would be definitively worse than this season. Obviously, season 5 might be on there. I don't even know. I don't even know. Season 1, we don't count. So you got 26 seasons to pick from. I'd honestly say this could be, on average, around 20 or 21 out of 26. And that's not good. And there's a lot of reasons for that. This might be a long video. I'm going to break it down here. I got a lot of things to talk about. Now, as far as live feeds go, I didn't get a chance to watch as much live feeds as I was hoping to. Basically, we watched the first episode when it premiered, and then left for over 2 weeks to go on a cruise. So I was way behind on that. It took me forever to catch up on the episodes. Finally did. Then work got really busy, and then I fell behind. I constantly was falling behind and going back together because starting these fucking episodes at 10 p.m., you can't expect me to stay up all night fucking watching these episodes when half of the fucking episodes is just watching Ashley, Ayla, or fucking Kelly walk around the fucking house picking at bugs and laughing about the randomest shit because Ashley doesn't know who fucking Superman is. You can't expect me to stay up and watch that shit. So that's why I didn't watch as much live feeds as I was hoping to. I did, towards the end, start to watch some more of them, but didn't get to watch as much as I was hoping to, especially in the early game when a lot of the bigger stuff was going down. I didn't get a chance to watch, which sucked. But where do I even begin though with this season? I guess better place to start than ever is the cast. Yeah, like I said before, this cast is not full of racists. It's not full of criminals. It's not full of straight up bullies. Riley was a very creepy guy, and Catherine, for the love of God, please get out of that relationship. I think you're going down a very dark path here with him. So that was pretty creepy. I thought otherwise it was fine, but obviously the headliner in this cast of 17 is Rachel Riley coming back. Been a long time since she had played the game. 14 years since she had last played the game. And here she is playing Big Brother again. And honestly, I was very, very happy to see Rachel back. She is one of my favorite players. I think, could say she's probably one of, if not my favorite female player of all time. And she did not disappoint on the season. She was playing a really good social game. She had the house wrapped on her finger. She even won an HOH, and that was probably the best HOH reign of the entire season. And she was playing her heart out to win Big Brother twice. And it was really awesome to see. Until she lost the White Locust twist. Now, I'm not going to get too much into the White Locust twist. I made a whole rant video about the White Locust twist. You can go watch that. Cliff notes of that here. I think that is without a doubt the worst twist in Big Brother history. It had no business being anything other than a reindeer games gimmick, and it really did change the dynamic of the season. When I made that video a few weeks ago, I had a feeling that it was going to change the dynamic of the game because Rachel was in such a good position. She was running the house. She was going to win the game, and she never got voted out of the house. She just lost this competition and got eliminated. And I really do, even now, after the rest of the season played out, do think Rachel would have at least been in the final four, if not the final three, if not sitting in the final two alongside Keanu. They were going to run the fucking table, and it all just came undone. It's like that feeling when you know something has been altered, when you know something has been distorted off of the path of reality or destiny or fate or whatever, and you know it's not what it was supposed to be. That's what this season feels like. Because then again, you have Keanu running the table. He loses, okay? He got beat up straight up fair and square. You got Will being evicted. Will wasn't supposed to be fucking evicted that early. What the hell? And then, at the final three, Morgan losing. Like, it felt like, honestly, like a BB27 situation with Vanessa running the whole fucking game and then losing at the final three because she couldn't win the final HOH competition. And yeah, Morgan lost that on herself. She completely blew that competition. And you could say the same thing for Rachel. She completely blew the White Locust competition. She wasn't even close to getting it correct in the time limit. So you could say that. But at least with Keanu leaving, at least with Will leaving, Will left on a vote. Keanu left on a vote. He had a chance to save himself, and Morgan had a chance to win the final HOH. She lost on a vote. Rachel did not lose on a vote. That is not how you fucking play a Big Brother. And the Big Brother YouTubers, Ethan Mantle, Purdium, they said it best. They're favoring competitors and competition so much that it's going away from the core value of the game, which is fucking game strategy, social game, all that bullshit. The veto wasn't even a real thing originally. It was all just the HOH competition, and then the rest of it is strategy. Now we've got the HOH competition, now we got the veto competition, now we got the fucking blockbuster. Let me tell you about the blockbuster real quick. Okay, we'll get back to the cast in a minute. I think the blockbuster was around way too fucking long. You cannot fucking tell me that having the blockbuster in until the final 7 is not a direct ploy to get rid of the back door. Big Brother does not want the back door option anymore. So they have the blockbuster. They brought it back from last season, and they made it longer. There's no business in having the HOH nominate half of his possible nominees at the final 7. Just so they can't backdoor somebody? You want Keanu's to go far in the game so badly? You want the comp beast to go on so badly? You don't want social game that badly that you're going to have this twist completely fuck up the entire game? The blockbuster really should have been gone after like week 4 or 5. Okay, maybe once jury hits. At the latest. Not the final 7. What are we doing, guys? And it's just like so obvious that this is intentional. This is what they want. They're getting what they want. Except they didn't get what they want because fucking Ashley won the game. Girl won 2 comps all season. She won the first veto and the final HOH. That was it. And she won the game over, and she beat Morgan, who won 7 fucking comps in the last 2 weeks of the season to win herself to the final 3. And then you got Vince, who won 4 fucking HOHs, and she beat them both. And that's great. I cannot believe that she fucking did that. It's just a big ass double bird to the producers for doing that. Ashley is proof that Social Game can still win over being a comp beast. At least in this season. And don't get me wrong. I think Ashley is a terrible winner. Okay? She is one of the worst winners in the history of the show. On a winner's ranking, she doesn't maybe even crack top 20. And that's being generous. My God. She says that she was being dumb, playing the dumb character all season long. And yeah, maybe she was. But there were many points during the season where you could tell it was genuine stupidity. I mean, she has the whole Showergate thing week 1. You cannot tell me that taking a 3-hour shower in the HOH bedroom week 1 is playing dumb. You cannot tell me that you're playing dumb by not knowing who fucking Superman is. So yeah, hated Ashley. I think she was fine as a person, I guess. But as a player in the game, holy fuck, is she stupid. And she's an epitome of pretty much most of this cast. A lot of them don't know how to play the fucking game at all. You have Jimmy talking all this shit. He gets evicted early. Mickey, absolute idiot. She had the game in her hands throughout week 3. And she has one of the worst HOH reigns I've ever seen. Taking out her own alliance member. And then you have fucking Riley. You have Zach, who didn't use a power to save himself from the block. He didn't use it. Just because he didn't want to give up $10,000 to stay another week in the house. And guess what? He got evicted on that. And then you got Lauren. Oh my God, you got Lauren. And I hate talking bad about Lauren because I have a crush on Lauren. We're the same age. If you didn't know that. I don't... Any other season, Mickey's HOH reign would be the stupidest. But Lauren decided to one-up her not once, but twice. The girl won 2 HOHs, and they both sucked. Her first HOH, she evicted Adrian. What the hell was Adrian doing? He did nothing. He did nothing. He did fuck all nothing. What a waste. And you would think she maybe learned from her mistakes when she wins the HOH again at the final 8. But no, she takes a fucking Will. What are you doing taking a fucking Will? You got Morgan over here blatantly laying out her plan for evicting people right in front of their faces. And really, there were only about maybe 3 people that I thought were deserving of going far in the game, or I was rooting for, or even thought deserved to win the game. And those people were Rachel, maybe Will, and Morgan. And maybe Morgan and Keanu. That was it. And really, even if Morgan had won that final HOH, evicted Ashley, or she said she was going to evict Vince. Fuck off. No, you weren't fucking going to evict him. She wins a steamroll. I still don't think she's a great winner. And you know why? Because we get to quite possibly one of, if not the worst Big Brother player of all time. This player is not as much of a demon, or racist, a sexist as like an Aaron. Not as much of a fucking a wife beater piece of shit that Mickey is. But my God, you want to talk about pain and misery playing out on television? Look no further than Vince. This guy tried 10 years to get on the show. He said that many, many times. He did not want people to forget that. And honestly, if I'm CBS, I think he was a waste of a recruitment spot. Yeah, he won 4 HOHs. Yeah, he was quote unquote masterminding all these people's evictions. I don't think I've ever seen such a bigger loser, crybaby, whiny little bitch than Vince. You take what Vanessa Russo was like on season 17, or even like Michelle on season 16 or 18, was it? Yeah, 18. Take those two people and just like jack them up on steroids and put them together. That's Vince. He could not make a decision to save his life. He could not make a decision on his own to save his life, should I say. He had to bend over backwards for everybody to run his game, manipulate him, and because he could never say no to anybody. His whole game was making it so everybody could like him. Guess what? That doesn't work in real life, and it sure as hell doesn't work in a game where you evict people every week. After Rachel goes, the next couple of weeks after that is just the fucking Days of Our Lives soap opera drama saga where we just watch Morgan and Lauren fight over Vince. And it is some of the most sappy, depressing, and ungodly watchable pieces of shit that I've ever seen in my life. He makes a final two with pretty much fucking everybody in the game. And doesn't believe that that would backfire at some point. I'm astonished. I am absolutely astonished that he made the final two. I'm not astonished that Ashley evicted Morgan over him. That was the game decision that she needed to make. But the fact that Vince got this far, right? Yeah, he won 4 HOHs. But it was more so that I was astonished that these fucking people just enabled him and let him bend over backwards for him. Swear to God, Keanu, how many chances are you going to give this guy? Like, how many chances are you going to give him? He burnt you literally 8 fucking times, and you still trusted him right up until you walked out the door. Like, and then he made a final two with Kelly, and then Kelly does fuck all with the information. It was really satisfying seeing that everybody except Morgan, because Morgan's like, oh, I'm not allowed to vote for Vince. Shut the fuck up. Of course you are. But everybody else voted against Vince, which I was very happy to see, including Lauren. I was very happy to see that. Good girl, Lauren. That's why I love you. I was just waiting for the moment that Vince would finally get humbled. he would get put on a skewer, and everybody could roast the fuck out of this guy. I had to wait a long fucking time, but it wasn't until the jury questioning when he had to bring up the same 3 points over and over and over again because he has nothing new to talk about, because all he wants to be, he's a fucking victim complex, and he wants to play the baby role. He's a fucking narcissist, and he is. And then we get to the whole fucking love triangle saga. Everybody's like, they were like, Morgan and Vince are like, oh yeah, we're just platonic friends, platonic relationship. What? Platonic friends don't sleep in the same bed every night. Platonic friends don't give 2-hour-long hugs to each other. Platonic friends don't rub each other's backs and arms to wake each other up in the morning. What the fuck? And they're so astonished that people in the house are thinking that they're trying to get together. No shit, it looks like that when you're fucking already borderline hooking up. And then Vince has this fucking meltdown during Vince always had the most pessimistic outlook on shit. And that might be ironic coming from me, a Tigers fan. You know what? King Scooble saved me. I'm huffing opium. Because King Scooble saved me from the dead. But you know what, with Vince, he always had the most pessimistic outlook on shit. And it was the same thing week after week after week after week. It's like being HOH for him was the worst thing. I don't know why he tried to win competitions when he's trying to make everybody like him. You win HOH, somebody's not going to like you. Multiple people are not going to like you because you have to nominate them. You have to evict someone. You have to make ways, and that's literally the thing you didn't want to do. So why are you going out here winning every fucking HOH down the stretch? And it all came to a head when they did the family messages. By the way, having that happen a week to go in the season, what a slap in the face. Man, if you're going to have, we'll get to this in a minute, but if you're going to rush the season where the final 9 are down to the final 2 in 2 weeks, you could at least have the family messages before that all begins, right? But sorry, that cuts too much into your commercial time. Literally, Julie says 2 words, commercial. You watch Ava take a shit, commercial. Character puts a puzzle piece together, commercial. You're really down that much in ratings? And you decide more commercials is the plan instead of, less twists? Better casting? But Vince is like, oh, my parents there, but I thought my girlfriend would be there. Did she dump me? Yeah, she fucking dumped you. What do you expect? You're fucking another girl in the house. Of course she's gonna dump your ass. And Morgan's just like, I don't understand. What do you mean you don't understand? Like, I know these people are coming from different walks of life than each other, right? They're coming from different backgrounds. They're growing up in different ways. They have different ways of life. They have different cultures. They have different, all this sort of stuff. You have to know that going in, that people are going to have different ways about going about their life. And that's kind of a cool thing in the house, because you get all these people like to blend together, and you get to see some really cool perspectives. You get to learn new ways about people. But even so, Vince and Morgan, you guys are both in your mid-30s, and you cannot tell me that you don't understand why people are thinking the way they're thinking. You cannot tell me that that's not what you cannot tell me you're blind to that. And if you are, then maybe you need your eyes checked. But they'll have to figure it the fuck out when they go back and watch the season. If they haven't started doing that already, which they probably haven't. I just hate Vince. I hate him. I hate how everybody loved him. There's no conceivable way to make that happen. Like, it was like a Paul style situation from season 19, but at least then Paul knew what he was doing and playing the game amazingly and wasn't a big crybaby about it. Yeah, he was arrogant, but not a big crybaby about it. Didn't play a victim complex. And it's like, and then Rachel's like, you can't love Will and Dan, but hate Vince. Yeah, we fucking can. Yeah, we fucking can, Rachel. Take the rare L, Rachel. You know why Dan and Will and Derek and all these people that are the legends like you know how they make it work? You know why they go to win the game? Because they play on their heart and they don't cry at every move. They don't make alliances with everybody in the house. They make them with only a few people. They stay quiet. They stay in the shadows. They don't fuck their friends and act like it's not a romantic relationship. They don't have the worst mustache style known to man. They aren't unemployed in their fucking mid-30s. They don't. They come in knowing that it is a game. They come in not knowing that they're going to be assholes. They're going to get blood on their hands. People are going to hate them. But that is the style of the game. Because at the end of the day, it's a game. Vince did not treat it like a game. Contrary to whatever he may say. He played it like summer camp. He wants to be the most popular kid. He wants everybody to take sympathy for him. Oh my god, I had to put somebody up on the block. Oh my god, everybody feels sorry for me. That was his whole gimmick all season. And it was just super depressing to watch. What about the twists? I already talked about the blockbuster, how too long that went. But then what about the decision to have, again, half the game take place in the final 2 weeks? Went from 9 to the finale in 2 weeks, it felt like. Again, taking away from the strategic aspect. There's no strategic aspect to going on a wheel. There's no strategic aspect to have another eviction 3 days after that. Then there's a double eviction after that. There's no strategic factor to it. It's all about winning competitions, which is not what the game is about. And yet they want to make it about that. Then you had the whole mastermind thing, and then that. I did like at the finale when we found out the masterminds, who they were. Frankie Grande, okay, cool. Jesse, that was pretty cool. And Eric Stein, wow, that was a cool cameo. I'm glad he's still in good relations with the show. I'd love to see him play the game again. That was awesome. But I don't know. It's just dumb. Now there was like the chaos of the season, and the cast overall was just really stupid. But that did provide some good parts of the season. There were no major true alliances for the great majority of the game. I guess you could say the Judges Alliance. Yeah, they teamed up for 2 weeks. Cool. Exterminators Part 2. But what else was there, really? Keanu and Rachel were never really a thing. You had, like, Vince making final twos to everybody. That didn't fucking count. So, like, there wasn't really any alliances, which made it so there wasn't really a set person to really dominate the game for the most part. Really, up until Rachel goes, there's not a true person, like, really king dominating the game. Yeah, Rachel was kind of leading that charge, but she didn't have, like, a true grasp on it like you saw with Paul in season 19, or Dan even in season 14, or anything like that. Or even Chelsea from last season in the second half when she took over. It's just... And so that provided so where there wasn't, like, a clear target. There wasn't, like, a clear pecking order, at least week after week. Like, yeah, Ashley was a target week 1. Never a target after that. Keanu was a target most of the season, but he kept winning competitions. So that then put a different target on people's backs. You had Jimmy, who I thought Jimmy was going to go very far in the game. He's taken... Okay. As I was saying, I thought Jimmy was going to be a big... hold on. Fuck. I thought Jimmy was going to dominate the game. He just disappeared, got evicted, which I thought was fitting. I thought he was too big for his britches, would say. Then you had Morgan take over at the end, but she didn't end up winning. You had, all these other players just kind of there, and the unpredictability of it, kind of the mixed bag of it all really did help provide some chaos that made the season at least watchable for the most part. But as the numbers dwindled and they rushed the end of the season, that just didn't work anymore. And so it kind of was just like putting everything on fast forward, Will's fast forward button until the end of the season. And that just... You knew CBS was just trying to clear up their slate of shows for the CBS premiere week. Oh my gosh, so we can watch Keith Urban and Luke Bryan sit in a van for 2 hours and then have watched some amateur country singer try and sing another boring love song about alcohol? Oh my god, so original. Oh, here's one about driving cars. Oh, that's so cool too. If you want the season to end, if you want a 2.5 month long season, which is what it was this year, space it out better. Like, why is the jury still 7 people when there's 17 house guests? Half the house should not be pre-jury. There should not be 8 pre-jurors anymore. Either shrink the cast down, if you want to keep 7, or bring the jury size back up to 9. And maybe have an earlier season double eviction. Have 2 double evictions. You ever thought of that game? Have a night 1 eviction again. Do something. The season was just very infuriating on many fronts. I didn't think, the cohesion of it makes it interesting for a while, but at the end of the day, it just provided a very undeserving winner of the show. I don't hate Ashley as a person, but I think she played a very mid-game at best. But the sad part is she is probably still in the top third of the pecking order for people that I think deserve to win the game. Only behind Rachel, Keanu, Morgan, and that might be it. Maybe Will, maybe Ava. I could honestly put her still like 4th. Which just shows how much of a crapshoot the season really was. And that sucks, And the return of Rachel really signified something, because I really thought Rachel was going to be the first 2-time winner of the show, how she was playing until the White Locust twist. I think at this point what we need, if we're going to have a 2-time winner of Big Brother, we have 26 winners of this show now. 10 women and 16 men. I think it's time for a all-winner season. I think it has to be done. If we are going to have a 2-time winner of the show, it has to come in an all-winner season. Even if there are 15 winners and 1 non-winner, that non-winner is going to carry their way through the game. And they're going to win because they haven't won the game before. I don't think it's going to happen otherwise. We've seen so many people come close. There's been 8 people now that have attempted to become the first 2-time winner of the show, and all of them have failed. And it really sucks because, Rachel seemed like she wasn't having a great time on the show for the most part. And I don't blame her. But, she was so hell-bent on coming back to play the game again, and I have a good feeling we're never going to see her play the game again. She has a family. She's older. And it got proven many times, at least especially on the competition scale, that she cannot compete like she used to. And was she really going to put herself through mental torture like that away from her family? I mean, there was literally a ploy to get her to become the first member of the jury just so that she couldn't see her kids. Everybody denied it, and then it ended up happening anyways. Is that why they rushed the season? So she gets to see her kids? Who knows? That's my thoughts on Big Brother 27. Not a great season. Not a great season. And I'm going to keep pushing to be on the show, but I think it's obvious at this point that CBS won't have me on because I speak the truth. And they know that I'm right. So, that'd be that. Doesn't mean I'm going to stop talking about it, though. So, that's going to do it for this video, though. Stay tuned for the much more amazing content. What are your thoughts on Big Brother 27? Did you like Ashley as a winner? Who do you think should have won the game? What do you think about some of the other aspects of the season that I talked about, or maybe that I didn't talk about? So, until next time, guys, though, see you guys later. Goodbye.